This is it. This is the Akai MPC XL. What do you think? Too many buttons. 105 buttons. If you got an MPC X or MPC X SE, this ain't it. This is more than you've bargained for. If you don't want to learn a bunch of stuff, don't even buy this machine. But this is it. Look at these images. I got all this stuff here. There was a leak. And you know me, I'm sort of like got a leak detector here. And so I got all these images, of course, prior to the release. And this is a pretty smoking looking device. I mean, if you're a scientist, you're thinking like, well, what can I do next? The MPCE pads are here to stay. Obviously, they were in the MPC Live 3. You know they're going to be in the MPC X. They stopped making this machine about a year ago. You couldn't even buy one. And now it's coming back. Akai is changing everything, and they have to. The world we live in is changing. There is a thing out there called AI. The Matrix is coming. And it's out there. It's going to help you or take your job. What's happening here is that they need to improve their ability to stay in power, maintain where they are, and improve it somewhat to get a little bit bigger. Now, it probably won't be just this machine. This is not just an MPC XL. This is an MPC computer, right? 8-core processor. 16-core processor. No, 8-core processor. Let's look at this. Let's see, I also have the specs here. Here we go. Powered by a new Gen 2 8-core processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM. For the MPC XL delivers 4 times the performance of the previous MPCs. Who needs all that? Load multiple plug-in instruments, run complex sessions, and navigate your projects without interruption. Okay, interruption probably means that your computer might just freeze, blank out, whatever. No, this is a computer, what they're pushing on us. And it's more than that. There's AI involved, and they're going to probably present some AI to go with this whole thing. They have to, because with the idea of people being able to create music with Suno and newer apps coming out, these companies should be in fear. And you already know they've been lying to us about the Studio One and the Fender project. Studio One couldn't survive because Suno is just eating up the back end. They're just eating it up. It's all software. Software is going to eat everything. And these guys realize that. They're making this machine to make some money for one thing, trying to keep the cost somewhere in the right area, because these parts are now cheaper than before. We're going to have 4 times the amount of RAM than last time. You should be able to, at least you should be able to take probably some sort of AI app or something and have it help you get really good EQs, or help you to use a certain EQ for a certain audio sound, or also maybe help you master your project. Or even just to say, okay, this is the chord structure you use. Okay, that's the piano you use. I can do the same thing with a different piano. Or how about I use an organ and give you the same thing you just did? Or I've got a choice here for you. 16 different sounds that you can use on that chord structure, or on that progressive pattern you did, or that bass line. Here's 5 ways to play the bass line. This is going to get real. And by having this thing as one big computer, it just makes sense to make this thing 105 buttons and everything on it, because the new kids are going to want something like this. Now, a lot of you guys are probably old school maybe, or old school, new school, or the latest sort of, I have no idea what you're doing. But you're going to want to have some help, really. People don't have bands anymore. There's just one guy here, one guy here. I haven't heard a band in a long time. I haven't even heard a rap group That's like, I mean, even singers aren't grouping up too heavy. They got I guess in Korea, they got this whole thing with the Korean movement, K-pop, and the same thing I've seen also in Japan and throughout Asia. And you got to realize also in Asia, there are more people there than there are in any other part of the world, really, And so what's going on here is the individual will be able to make music with a machine like this. Now, of course, we have the MPCE pads too as well. Those pads are just dope. If they're still using dope or cap or whatever it is, this thing is just awesome. That describes it totally. To have 16 freaking pads and cut them up and slice them up into 4 each pad and have 64 possible places to put some sort of sound effect or whatever it is on there is awesome, really. And to do it in a layered manner and to actually add articulation, like a drummer would articulate, like this is a drum roll. I mean, this is ridiculous. Who needs this? They are going above and beyond to make sure they stick around. As the world changes, as Suno eats up the guys at the bottom, they need to be in a position where they have a computer. And having this computer will help them to get there. Now, I know a lot of you guys are looking at these things like, that's just too much to learn and know. I would probably agree with you. But if you're producing music, I would say, well, you know what to do. You need to learn what's going on and get even better at production. And to be quite frank, there are guys like me who've been to college of music, right? Who've been studying this for music for years, know how to get a drum pattern, know what it looks like on a score, put together maybe a film score, put together a commercial, you know what I'm saying? To do stuff like, hey, we know what chord that is, this goes with that chord. And there are a lot of guys who are coming out of school doing that. This will be a great machine for making commercials. This will be a great machine if you're like a drum bugle corps guy and you got drum bugle corps and you got drum patterns to do, and you got a marching band, you can do all the patterns inside this machine and there would be no problem. Great way to teach them, great for you to show them, great way for you to put it in a film, a documentary or whatever, but this can be done. And so this is going to be a pretty expensive machine. $3,000, you figure, supposedly the rumor is $2,899. And of course, we don't have the tax in your area, you know what I mean? But this is a pretty cool device. And this is going to be a computer. It's going to fight FL Studio. It's going to try to be able to fight Ableton Live. I think it's already fighting Ableton Live because it goes everywhere too. So there's going to be some eating up of the entire industry by the Suno software. You got to realize India, it's the #1 app to use for making music. Indonesia too. Now, what does that mean? Really nothing. It does though, because there are 1 billion some odd people in India and 1 billion some odd people in Indonesia. There are 8 billion people on the planet. That's 25% of the people on the planet are using Suno. Now suppose Suno gets even better and does something else. Suno's going to be at NAMM as well. That's right, 2026 NAMM on January 20th. Suno will be there. There will be fear through all of NAMM because Suno is in there. They're going to wonder what Suno's going to present when they get there. Everybody's going to live in fear. Even Akai is presenting in room 204A the new MPC XL. But more than that, they're going to probably explain this whole new idea of using the internet along with their computer. The 2000 MPC XL computer. Well, that's my idea of it. Because all this stuff in here is a computer.